What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nintendo Power Block for July 3rd, 2018. It is America's birthday eve. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, that retro code, Edward Varnell.
Black Power, or Black Panther.
What? Okay. Ed, I love you.
I haven't got my hair cut yet. I haven't got my hair cut yet, and I don't got my dashiki.
You should just grow it out.
It is grown out.
No, just keep growing it.
No, I can't.
Just keep going.
I haven't had my hair cut since April? Yeah, about April. It's not gonna grow anymore. Plus, it'd be itchy in the weather.
My wife's sister just cut my hair. I was like, it's going away anyway. Why do I keep paying $12 to get a haircut? So, that's why I wear a hat, everybody. Joining us as always, the wise Wisconsinite, Jesse Douglas.
How's it going?
Woo!
Why does it keep looking like it's you got a gray beard? But that must be light.
It's distinguished.
Yeah, I think
he's a distinguished dad. Okay.
Once it grows out, it does have a little gray in it, and I have some gray like right in the front up here in my hair.
I found some gray hair.
Care.
I found some gray hair in my sideburns the other day, and I was like, meh. No. No.
Yeah. I've had gray hairs like since forever. Like it's honestly, I think it's probably been like 8 years already since I've seen the first.
I have no gray hairs on my body, like nowhere.
Welcome to Haircast, everybody. Yeah. Man, what a week! I made it another week without a child running around here. Well, crawling. I don't know what babies do. Cry, I guess.
Cry. Yes.
Getting carried around there.
It's man. So like every day, I'm just like, is it gonna happen? Like it's just in my brain now that like I need to. Even at night when I'm sleeping, I'll wake up in the middle of the night. I was like, is it happening? No. Okay, she's still asleep. I'm going back to sleep. like it just...
No. Don't you dare say that. Because you will wake up in the middle of the night. You will send me a text on Facebook at 2:15 in the morning. Hey, Ed, what's going on? And my dovetail is up at that time. Be like, nothing much, Corey. Want to talk for a bit? Nothing. He went back to bed. And then he'll wake up and get ready for work. He's like, I fell back asleep. I'm sorry. I'm like, wait.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Man, so like I don't know how much time I have left. Like it's just like this surprise is just gonna pop out someday, and it's just gonna be like, oh man, I need like I told my wife, I was like, I just need 3 more days. If you can just give me 3 more days to wrap up the projects that we're doing and to like just get it all everything, like then we can have this baby. And like, you know, clearly when the baby comes, I'm gonna take a couple weeks off. So like, you know, whatever. I'll be missing from Power Block and Arsenal X for a while. But like, it's just been crazy around here.
I said to him that I don't think you were there when I told him. I said, but his luck. I said it's gonna happen while we're in the middle of recording.
I mean, it'll probably happen in the middle of recording something, I'm sure. But. Man, yeah, but
it's exciting.
It is. I'm excited. I'm ready. You know, we've got a ton of stuff recorded through October, which is about the time I'll be able to start. Like, well, probably earlier than that, but like, you know, Squad Goals and Royale Cheese we've got recorded through October, mid-October. So that stuff's done, and Pod and Play Season 3 is almost wrapped production, and like, I'm just saying, if I can just have 3 days to do stuff, we're golden. We're good. Okay. And then,
we just gotta put a certain new podcast on hold, probably till a little bit later on in the year.
A certain new podcast.
Yeah, yes. If we ever come up with a name.
Or not that one. A season 2 to our season 1 that is going on now.
Oh, the Nindy, the YouTube show. I was like,
yes,
podcast. What's happening? What? We have plans like for fans of expansion pack and all that, like mini block, expansion pack, and expansion pass. I think we're trying to figure out a way to make those all kind of like one show, and they just kind of like, hey, we feel like recording something today. Let's just do it. Let's just have some fun. Or like if something big happens, like we kind of just want to put that all into one thing. So we're figuring that out too. Email us a name choice because we're struggling. We're struggling.
We have names on the ballot.
Yeah.
That's all we can say.
We do. But anyways, this is our Nintendo podcast though, so guess we should probably talk about Nintendo. So we're going to talk about what we've been playing on our switcheroos. Jesse, we're going to start with you.
Okay. Actually, before we recorded, I was playing some Tetris 2 on my Super Game Boy.
I saw that. You sent that message you sent that video in the message.
Yeah, I sent the video because I know you said you hadn't ever played it before. I didn't know if you knew exactly how it played.
I didn't even know there was a Tetris 2, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah. Like that's the inspiration for a lot of those like games that you seen like later. If I remember correctly, I don't know if maybe some of those other games where you have the different colored dots that you had to try to get rid of or whatever, if those were done before it. But I want to say that Tetris 2 may have been like one of the first ones to kind of make that, do that more on a popular level or whatever. But yeah, I as much as I love the original Tetris, I just love the whole the different colored things and you got to try to get stack 3 to get rid of them. And it's it's a lot like Dr. Mario. That was always a really good game too. I love all those Tetris 2 and Dr. Mario. I played a lot of growing up, but yeah, so I played that, and then I played a whole bunch of Mario Tennis yesterday with my friend Pat on my Switch. And the only thing though is I was getting really tired, and I was like missing so many shots because I just had no drive, and my reflexes were just so bad. But and then I was played that and some Donkey Kong Freeze, Tropical Freeze I played, and I also played some some N++ and Fortnite, obviously. Can't not play that. It's just too easy when you got the the portable Switch, and you just kind of bring it with you anywhere and play it whenever I feel like it. So
a lot of people have actually switched over to the Switch version.
Yeah. Well, the one nice thing about switching over to the Switch version is there's a lot of people who aren't very good at it yet. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit easier, I feel like, to play it on there. Whereas like when I play on Xbox, if I try to do solo mode, people like build like a entire like 5-6 story building in like 5 seconds. But like on the Switch, a lot of people are still in that beginning stage where they don't build when they're getting shot at because they don't know how to do that yet. So but yeah, it's it's fun. I like it on both systems personally. Like it's just the only reason I'm playing it on the Switch is just the portability, really.
I think a lot of people stopped playing it on PS4 for various reasons, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
yeah, people on my timeline on my Twitter just like, I'm doing Fortnite on Switch. And it's just like this. Everybody said they couldn't wait for it to happen for Switch after the reveal, and now it's just like, to play Fortnite, you need to play it on the Switch, because nobody was talking about it being on PS4 or Xbox One. Like, you would probably hear more of Overwatch, but when it comes to Fortnite, you would hear stories that it made a lot of money and people were probably playing it on mobile. For right now, all the talk about that game is on Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, and I finally got a little bit of an understanding as to what the whole deal was with the issues that they were having with people that had it, logged into a PS4, not being able to play it on their Switch and stuff like that. I guess it's something. Yeah, well, and I guess it's something to do with the fact that, because PlayStation doesn't want, because like the way it was set up originally, if you bought a season, like the pass thing or whatever, the battle pass or whatever they're called, like when you bought it from your PS4, like that money would go to them. A part of that would go to PS4. And so with the way that it's set up now, like if you buy something, you don't have to buy it on PlayStation 4 in order to have it everywhere else, that kind of thing. And so that's why they blocked it. That's why PS4 doesn't want to let it.
It's different than that. Because with PS4 and crossplay, they even have problems with Bethesda with the mod situation for like Fallout. And then, with Rocket League and stuff, it's just like everything you do on PlayStation, if you do want to play with anybody else, I guess using that account, if you're playing on PlayStation, you're locked out from all of it. PlayStation is literally inclusive to only if you do this stuff and register on that system, you will not be able to do it anywhere else.
Yeah. But I guess that's part of it though, is they're greedy. They don't want you to be able to buy something for that game anywhere else and be able to play it on their system. That's basically what it comes down to.
But
they don't.
But even if they did that, Epic would get more of that money than Sony would.
Well, I know, but Sony still is, like I said, they're greedy. They want that little bit of money that they'd be losing out on.
Sony is 2 and 2 nerds going platinum. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Look, there's been enough of that across 9,000 podcasts this past couple weeks, so.
Yeah. Well, it's just the only reason I brought it up is because I was having because it's hard to listen to what people are saying on the internet, like about it, because I don't really trust what the internet says about it.
What?
I want to
know
know
the truth.
I wanted to know, like, what, like I was trying to understand from a different perspective, of like, okay, well, what exactly does it come down to that this isn't happening, and why, why there's issues with it?
Well, the thing about it is, Epic and Sony didn't warn players that they couldn't do it. And so it's one of those trial by error kind of things that when people hopped onto it, probably because they've been, people who are just PlayStation owners who have an Epic account, they would assume that when they signed up for that, it would be Epic that would let them go through and continue to play. They didn't know that Sony was blocking. So that's where all the confusion and stuff, because Sony didn't say nothing about this. Sony didn't warn Epic that this was going to happen and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't really care. I got it all. We got it all figured out, and it's a shame, but again, that's Sony's problem to figure it out. So,
as the shake continues.
One thing that is Epic's problem, though, that they do need to fix is letting you be able to log out of your account. Like that really ticks me off. That like once you log into an account, even if you make a guest account on your Switch, like once that's done, that account is permanently linked to that Switch account, and you can't log out of it.
You can if you go. Yeah, you can if you go to their website. You have to go to their website to log out. Epic's website.
Yeah.
And then
Epic's?
and then you just unlink your Switch to it.
Oh, okay.
But it's really dumb.
Well,
you should be able to just like press Y to log out or whatever.
But like I said though, like I have a guest account linked to my Switch, so there is no guest account that I can log into on their website. So, I mean, I guess unless maybe there, because I think there's some kind of ID thing that's linked to your account regardless of what you're using on the Switch. Maybe I'll have to see. Maybe I'll find a way. But because I'm kind of bummed because now my regular Switch account has a guest thing linked to it, and I had to make a new account on my Switch that I could link my Xbox Epic account to. So, but
nice.
Oh well.
Well, you been playing anything else, Jesse? Anything interesting on Switch?
Not for Switch. Just some old school games on Nintendo and some Switch games.
What other crazy old school games are you playing besides Tetris 2, which apparently I never knew existed until like last week?
I'm so shocked about that.
When they perfected the first time around, I don't need a sequel. Just saying.
Pretty much.
Just saying. Game Boy Tetris is the perfect video game.
This would be for like on my on my PS2, but I fired up Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Nice.
The original PS1. I started a new account on that. Was
nice.
Struggling to remember how to play that game.
Somebody was so dirty. They put a picture at Toys R Us, like on the last stores, and they got a picture of all the Tony Hawk 5s for Xbox One, all stacked up in one case. Like, everything is full. It's just like the shame. And I really want to find it so I can send it to Jason. It'd just be like, just marvel in this. Don't even worry what system it is. Just marvel at the fact that you are playing this.
That's funny. Ed, what are you playing?
So for Switch, Octopath Traveler, the demo, I got to the end part of it. My 3 hours is up, and I so much can't wait for that. Even with got them told, I also did the 3 levels in 2 more weeks. Following week. Next week.
It's next Friday, not this coming Friday, but next Friday.
Next Friday. It will be in my hands, and I cannot wait for both of those games. I will be at Target at probably 8:30, making sure that they find their games and they put it out and give me my copies, because I want to spend my $80 or whatever it's going to cost me to get them, so I could just hop out and be ready to talk more about that. Battle Chef Brigade, I played also, picked that up on sale, and enjoying that. Really fun. It's funny. It's animated so beautifully, and the voice acting is so well done. Like, it's a really fun game. I'm enjoying that. Ice Cream Surfer and Breath of the Wild. Getting more deep into Breath of the Wild. It's just like, I need to do this. I need to get that. That game is just, it just sometimes surpasses 10 to me. Like, it's so perfect that I could forgive all the faults when it came out, and after all the updates and stuff, I'm just like, this might be the best game, just like for a lifetime, and nothing people could say or do could hurt that. For me, probably personally. For PS4, spent time with Mad Max, getting a little bit further in that game, but fortunately, since my 2 weeks is up, I have to move on. I am going to return to that game probably here and there, because I started Far Cry 5 for Xbox One. That intro is too long. Get into this game. Yeah. I understand the driving sequence, what they're trying to set it up, but it is too long to even get to the first part that you actually do something. So I took one of the missionaries or something like that. Like, I stealth killed 3 of the dudes. It's like when you leave like the home base, the old man rescuing you, there's that little it's like this tank little home thing, and I blew that up. So I got one more to do on the small little island and do some stuff there before I go exploring the world. But really enjoying that. I'll link up with you, Jesse, and we'll team up and maintain that. Go through that game because it's probably gonna give you some achievements too.
Yeah, probably. And then obviously I'll probably get like a chunk of some of the money and stuff, when we're doing stuff. So yeah, that game, it's like I have a feeling it's going to be very similar to like us playing the Division, like where it's basically you're all working together and you all kind of get your own stuff and everything, but it's you're only working on one person's account though, like one person's storyline. Yeah.
Funny that you mentioned the Division because I've been playing more of that, like just on my own. After that, that's pretty much it that I've been doing on Xbox. But yeah, Battlefield Hardlines is what I'm about to do for the next 2 weeks or whenever I beat that game. Hopefully, I'm probably like on the 3rd level of the game because I did start it early, but I just need to do more of it. So I think I'll be done with it probably by the end of this week, and I'll be playing Far Cry 5 also, but I'll be jumping between PS4 and Switch throughout the day. But once I get done with Battlefield Hardlines, because that's my main goal to get, I'll be jumping into those games. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. So
cool. Well, I'll keep mine short since we're already 20 minutes into this show. I've been playing Fortnite on Switch and Donkey Kong, and I popped in Wolfenstein 2 for a little bit. Game's real pretty on Switch still. Like I can't believe like that game is running on Switch, and it's not as pretty as the Xbox One or PS4 version. Like clearly it's not, but the fact that like I can sit in bed and shoot Nazis it's a good time. So
I just like the fact. I just like the before you say something, Jesse. I just like the fact that when you look at it, it just runs smooth. That's how it looks to me. Yeah.
They really like since the PAX build, they really got that frame rate tightened up. Like, I mean, it looked great at PAX, but there was a couple points where I was like, well, that frame rate's a little bit shoddy. Like, especially during cutscenes and stuff. And like, I haven't seen a lot of cutscene or anything yet, but like, it's real smooth. It's a clean 30. So, I mean,
and they didn't cut out any kind of like content at all, which is great.
Yeah, I know. It's it's awesome. There was like a 2-hour download for me though. Like it was like it does require an SD card and a big thing, which like I ended up getting it at GameStop and like just I don't know why I went there to get it. I just did. But like, man, these people, like the thing is in like the one girl that I know that works there wasn't there, and she wasn't the one that was helping me, but every other person that works there just treats me like I'm an effing moron, and I'm just like, don't try to upsell me memory cards. Don't try to upsell me anything. I just want to pick up my pre-order and get out of here. Like, I've been coming to this location for like 10 years now. Like, don't treat me like I'm a moron. Just like, come on. Like, I understand you're trying to be your weird hipster, like, I've got pink hair and a nose ring and ripped pants and I don't care what anybody thinks of me type thing. And just let me pick up my game and go home. Like, just let me go, So
yeah, that's one of the nice things at the GameStops by me. Like, most of them are pretty good at just like they'll ask you if you need help and that's about it. Like, after that, they basically leave you alone.
Right.
And I usually have a lot of fun talking with some of the people that work there. They have no problem having a conversation if they have some free time and stuff. And just talking about stuff, but yeah, like otherwise, I don't ever feel like like they're trying to sell me everything, and which
yeah. And look, I like the one girl that works there is like super nice and everything, and she like always helps me out with stuff or whatever. And like, she helped me with some trade things the other day that I don't know if it was legal or not, but like it worked out, and like I was really happy for it. But like the other people that work there, man, just come on. Like I'm not the mom that comes in here with the whiny kid screaming about Minecraft and Fortnite stuff. Like, just let me go home. I just want to pay for my stuff and go home.
That's why I go to Target.
Well, that's
my games.
That's why I started getting stuff on Amazon. Like, I just don't want to deal with these people, and like, I don't know.
I have nothing against my GameStop because I go in to get used games. They know what I'm on. And if I got to get a special edition that they carry, they always have it. That's it. Other than that, yeah, let me get my stuff at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock, and be done with it. Physical, I should say.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. I have a Captain Toad and an Octopath pre-order there just in case, like, and the Amazon stuff doesn't come through, because sometimes, like, I get notifications from Amazon that say, like, hey, your pre-order's been canceled because we can't fulfill it or whatever, and so, like, I have stuff pre-ordered other places just in case, and that's, like, whew. This is why I go to Amazon, man. Like, and Wolfenstein's the first time it's happened in, like, almost a year. Like, it you know, it just... And the last time it happened was a special edition, so I don't even know if I count that or not, because, like, collector's editions are, especially now, they're, like, whatever, but... Whew, man. Anyways, that's kind of all I've been playing, and then, you know, we've been playing other stuff for other shows, but I'll save it for Arsenal X. Anyways, let's move on to some news bits.
News bits.
So there's not really a lot of, like, interesting quote-unquote Nintendo specific news, but there's a lot of news that I think is worth talking about. So
Ooh.
we're gonna talk about this first one, actually. So there's a rumor that Google is creating a gaming platform to rival PS4, Xbox One, and assumingly Switch, because it's out now. So and I'm assuming by PS4, this is from Nintendo Life, by the way, I think that this is going to be like Xbox Scarlet and PlayStation 5, presumably, because it's like real late to be releasing a console. But this is from Nintendo Life. While the Switch is still relatively new to the gaming scene, the PS4 and Xbox One have both been around since 2013. If recent console generation trends are anything to go by, this means we could be seeing replacements for those consoles within the next couple of years. Already confirmed by Sony and Microsoft that 2 to 3 years, we'll see something. Interestingly, though, Sony and Microsoft aren't the only ones lapping up on console rumor hype at the moment. The prestigious honor is currently being held by Google. According to Kotaku, who claim to have heard from sources that have been briefed on Google's plans have either been briefed on Google's plans or heard about them secondhand, Google currently has a, quote, three-pronged strategy in place for a new gaming system to rival those currently on the market. These three angles are reported as follows. 1. Some sort of streaming platform. 2. Some sort of hardware. And 3. An attempt to bring game developers under the Google umbrella, whether through aggressive recruiting or even major acquisitions. The first two would suggest Google's hoping to create a piece of hardware that could well be similar to those we already know and love, but potentially with an emphasis on streaming games rather than any physical form media being present. Excuse me. Wow. That final point is also interesting, as Google's frankly ridiculous amount of moolah could help them acquire any number of development studios, securing them as Google exclusive developers. So far, the codename is Yeti, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so looks like Google might be entering the gaming space.
Yay for Uyo 2. because Google's not about to spend that money trying to get a processing chip for whom? IBM? Like, who are they going to get their chip from? They're going to be mostly
Probably
working
the same
more.
people Xbox and PlayStation go through either AMD or NVIDIA or.
Right, but with Google, they're not going to spend that kind of money when they already got money for Android.
I mean,
I
think Google would be more than happy to spend that money. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Amazon isn't in this conversation either.
Because Amazon has a platform, but theirs is Android based. They just don't have like something like Konami or Square Enix and stuff like that making their games. They have more like small indie developers making games for them.
Yeah, I know a lot of people always, in the past have mentioned that they, like the people have always thought about like Apple joining this kind of thing too and doing something. But the thing with Apple, like, is they have PCs already, so they don't really need to make a box. Like they make their computers that people can use for gaming or whatever.
Yeah, plus Apple makes so much money on the App Store as it is. Like, they make so much money through their App Store. Like, why would they ever think about spending money? It's like the same reason why Disney got out of gaming, right? Is like, they could just license their stuff out and make so much money and let everybody else worry about it off of it. Like, why?
Well, because with Apple and even with because of Steam on how powerful that is, that's the third party stuff. Like for Apple users, even for people who like own a Surface tablet, like in Windows 10 and stuff, that has that first and third party stuff. With Google, with them even having problems with YouTube and stuff, like how is that going to work? Are they going to be trying to go after Square Enix and put their games on and get some exclusive content for YouTubers and stuff? Like, I don't think Google is has enough research and development to go find out what's going to be the next chip that's going to rival Xbox and going to rival PlayStation 5, because Microsoft could always make a whole brand new chip and get. I was just gonna say, like, I think
this whole conversation is interesting because the last time we saw a major tech company come in and make a platform was Xbox, right? And I know it's a different time and everything. Like, smartphones weren't really a thing yet, and whatever. But a tech company coming in with their own consumer electronic, taking on consumer electronics companies and Sony and Nintendo, like, that was a pretty big move for them, and they've been pretty successful for the most part with the original Xbox and especially 360. Like, and I think I think Google is one of the wealthiest, if not the wealthiest company in the world, and I think developing some sort of box now, who knows if they're just like sticking their foot in the water, like an Ouya type box with streaming on it, like, then we're talking something really different. But if they're gonna go all in, like, they have the money to go all in, and it's like, well, what did Microsoft do when they jumped in? Like, they didn't have a killer app until like 9 months out of launch, and then they bought Bungie and Halo was born on the Xbox, right? And like, but
they also went out for third party, so like Square,
right.
Konami, but
right.
I don't think
and Google's gonna have to do the same thing. It's just like there's so many different avenues to take gaming now. Like, what would a Google first party look like? Would they go after like the AAA developers, like the guy who made A Way Out, or would they go after someone like
I don't even think
Avalanche?
I don't even think it's that. I think what they're going to do is, if they build the system, they're just going to move Google Marketplace on there. That's all they're pretty much going to do, because I'm like, I don't trust Google enough to go to Japan and go to Europe and talk to second party and third party developers to get like Final Fantasy 15 or something on their platform. Google would have to actually put up some money. You can have all the money in the world, and if you don't put up that money to get third party that gamers know
Yeah,
to
you
be
gotta
on
make
it,
you
they're
gotta
not
make
gonna
it you gotta make it real enticing for third parties,
right.
and that's
Yeah,
that's where. Oh, sorry, Jesse, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, that's the thing though, is they have the money. Like
Yeah.
it's just like Microsoft, they have the money. If Microsoft really wanted to, they could have, bought. I'm glad they got Ninja Theory or whatever, but I mean, they could get like some really good, but it's just all a matter of what gets okayed. And if you're Google and you're just starting out, like they can justify spending a lot of money on a big company or a big developer right away, because they're going to need that to get started. And then after that, if their business can show that it's making them money, then later on they can buy more developers, so I honestly, I can totally see them like just throwing some money out there if they think that if they're confident enough that they can, get a good. I mean, they've got tentacles and like every kind, like just imagine like having a console and people gave the Xbox One a hard time because it had like it was a media box. You could do every kind of media that you wanted all into one. But like honestly, that was what sold it for me. And if someone's able to buy a Google like console and I can connect my Google the chat thing to it, and I can connect
that's going to be the problem, because then people, if Google's going to do all the streaming stuff and media stuff, all of that's going to go through YouTube, and you're going to have a YouTube Red account to do most of that. I mean, but are they going to try to allow Twitch on it? Why would you, as Google,
their Fire Stick and their phones do? I don't see why their console wouldn't. Like I think like
the Fire Stick, but that's Amazon.
Well, I mean, I think comparing Google to Microsoft right now is like the perfect thing, right? Is where like Microsoft, you can stream on Mixer, but you can also stream on Twitch. Mixer's their first party thing. Whereas if you went to YouTube or if you went to Google, you could stream to YouTube Gaming, but you could also use Twitch. Like, it's there. And then, they have the infrastructure and Google, stuff like Microsoft does with chat, with search, with
that's
arguably
the thing.
A better store.
Google is in competition with their YouTube streaming than Twitch is. That's been one of the stories, that they've been trying to get more streamers on YouTube and take them away from Twitch.
Well, maybe this would be like if they got some sort of killer app for that thing, like maybe that would be the thing that put them over the edge to stream to YouTube instead of Twitch.
Dude,
they'd be like, look, if Game X is a big multiplayer game that is easily streamable, easily communicated to players, like you stream it to YouTube, you get stuff similar to what Jesse and I were talking about last night when we were playing Fortnite with a Twitch account. You get Fortnite stuff. Like, they could easily do that. If you stream to YouTube, you get all this free stuff for that game, and, you get benefits from streaming to YouTube instead of Twitch. Like, they could easily try to integrate that into their box, similar to what Microsoft does with Mixer. And, like, granted, Mixer is not as big as YouTube or Twitch, but, like, they do offer...
You get stuff from...
They do offer incentives by streaming to Mixer.
Yeah. Yeah. That I agree. It's just, I think with Google... they're going to try to keep it in their ecosystem than going out, which is
smart. Like that's what they want to do. But like, I think the thing is like keeping people inside your ecosystem. You also have to offer them choices to like stay in the ecosystem, but use third-party routes. Like, Microsoft's thinking about allowing Discord on Xbox. They're thinking about allowing they already allow Twitch and YouTube streaming and recording and stuff on there. Like, Google would have to take the same approach. But the thing is Microsoft has the software, right? Like, they have Halo, they have Gears, they have Fortnite, they have PUBG. Like, they have games that are easily streamable and translated to consumers. Google's going to need that. They're going to need, like, the third-party games, but they're also going to need their first-party games because, like,
they're going to need all.
They're going to need first-party games.
Need all that stuff.
I think their biggest thing is they're going to need first-party stuff because that will attract the third-party stuff. Because first party stuff's going to attract the consumers. Like, oh, that game looks awesome. I can only play it there. Oh, well, okay. Well, then I can try that out and maybe download Fortnite. Maybe download, these third party games of this box. Like, but if they don't have the first party support, nobody's going to move over just to be like, oh, okay.
Right. Your stuff can't. I think with Google, your stuff can't look like a starting up indie game. Like, you got to come with AAA. There's no way that you're a big budget you're a big money making company, and then your thing looks worse than an Atari 2600 game.
Oh boy.
Or Atari Jaguar kind of game.
Or
your
the Atari VCS due out sometime this year, and they don't know what it is.
Right.
Well, but that's a perfect example to use though. Look at, no one knows anything about it, and the damn thing broke the internet when people were trying to reserve their box, and we don't even know what it is yet.
Everybody
so you can't tell me that something like Google, that, I mean, they have like the Chrome books and stuff like that. I mean, they've already got like their own PCs, like things basically. I mean, it would be no different than that. Well, and Google's a big name. People are going to buy it.
But see, the thing about it is Google is, when it comes to like Atari and their history, their history has not been good. They started something interesting, but their history is not good. And all the shenanigans that came after that. With Google, they had their ups and downs, and people know Google more as a reliable internet kind of service, to use. Then they know of having like a OS or having a actual computer that's like real, like that's known all around the world. You have Google Chrome, yeah, but then you also got Microsoft, who pretty much is PC, and everything that came to their system or their PC stuff, they just put it in console mode, like with Discord and Skype and stuff like that. Google don't have anything else like that. They just be like, Google's us. We can use our search engine and our images and go on.
Yeah, I mean, I think whatever Google ends up doing, I think it's going to look very similar to what Microsoft wants to do next generation. With the, hey, you can have the box sitting underneath your TV and play physical copies or downloaded copies on your hard drive or whatever. But then, we're going to have an app where you can stream it to your phone when you're not home. Or if you have like a Fire Stick or whatever in your bedroom, like you can stream it there. I think that's what I think. Whatever this Google thing pans out, I think that is going to look very similar to what Microsoft's trying to do, and like that's an interesting thought, because I think it makes this like quote unquote streaming future look that much more interesting, and maybe propel it that way faster if more people are trying to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing, is I think they're kind of in a good spot. Like starting now makes sense with what a lot of developers and a lot of companies have said that they want the future of gaming to look like.
But that's going to be the problem if they keep messing with gamers on YouTube. Gamers are going to be worried if they feel like Google is going to move the craziness that's on YouTube to their console platform. A lot of people are going to stay off of it. YouTube is going to have to change a lot of stuff about, not good YouTube. Google is going to have to change a lot of stuff about YouTube right now on PC if they're going to introduce that into their game.
I think they need to change a lot of stuff on YouTube anyway. Like I think they just changed YouTube's user integration again. Like not from like a content creator standpoint, but just like from a user interface standpoint. And it's like, it just keeps getting worse, man. Like you gotta simplify this. Like YouTube is the biggest platform in the world, not just for games, but for video on demand, period. You gotta make it easy for people to, like, yeah, okay, I get it. Anybody can just upload a video to YouTube. Like, I get it. But to make your YouTube page stand out and like, make it stand out for what you want it to stand out for, like YouTube's got to change it, not just for gaming, but they got to change it for everybody.
If and that's why I say, if they're going to do that for their console, yeah, they got to change YouTube. They got to change all that stuff now.
Yeah.
And get it back to a spot where gamers can trust putting their content and showing games and streaming on YouTube if they're going to be doing a console version or implementing that experience there. They're going to have to change it.
Yeah.
Well, and I guarantee you, if this is serious and they're being serious about this at all, and trying to streamline and having YouTube that they could, like you have YouTube Red, like, and they could just as easily have like a version of YouTube that you can sign up for that's like standalone, that's just for gaming, like like their version of Twitch basically.
Yeah,
that can be accessed through the regular YouTube itself, but it can have like its own kind of like division that focuses more, like its own app that's got like the whole recording stuff and all that attached to it. But I guarantee if they're being serious about any of this, like all this kind of stuff that we're talking about, they've been probably thinking about long before we even knew it was something that they needed to do,
Yeah,
because I guarantee they're not gonna just like they have like numbers and looking at how YouTube is doing and and the fact that a lot of people are leaving it and stuff like that. They've probably been thinking about all that stuff for quite some time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
It's
definitely really interesting to see. I'm actually quite surprised it's taken this long for someone like Google or Amazon to jump into this, because like I thought Amazon was going to be the first person to jump in because of their they've got the Lumberyard engine, which is basically Crytek. Like they've got some they've bought up some developers, not like big AAA developers or anything, but like I don't know. So, but anyways, we're gonna move on to the next story. Maybe that would have been more suited for Arsenal X, but I thought it was really interesting to talk about. This is the biggest player since Microsoft to try to enter the game market, and I'm not counting that stupid Atari box because like they don't even know what that thing is. So I think we have more details about this Google box than we do about the Atari box that's coming out in like 6 months. So
yeah.
Anyways, our next story also comes from Nintendo Life. Actually, most of our stories are coming from Nintendo Life these days because no one else wants to talk about Nintendo. Hey, remember that awesome game Shaq-Fu that came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game was great.
Well,
Garbage.
do I have news for you? There's a free bonus game for Shaq-Fu, A Legend Reborn physical owners. It's called Barrack Fu, The Adventures of Dirty Barry. It is a parody on Barack Obama. This bonus game is a free timed exclusive for everyone who purchased the physical edition of Shaq-Fu, giving players an added incentive to buy a physical copy if they've been on the fence. We should probably point out that Obama himself has not been involved in the project. The game is a parody that sees a fictional version of him going around fighting fashionistas, politicians, and hackers. Here's a full description of the game and and some handy features that you have to check out. The independently created and produced game features a brand new hero. This one is not an endorsed celebrity, but a parody of one of the greatest heroes of our time. Some fool has been icing celebrities, and he ain't slowing down. When the fuzz can't crack the case, and the private dicks don't have a clue, Dirty Barry gets the call. Jet to Paris and even outer space, battling crazy bosses and their mad minions as the ex-POTUS on notice dispenses justice for all.
I have no comment at all.
I'm not done. I'm not done.
This is a mess. This is an insane mess.
I'm not done.
Sounds amazing.
I'm not done. Battle fashionistas, politicians, robots, clones, hackers, flying derrieres, and rappers with your raw fists and smoking hot lead. Call in a, quote, peace prize drone strike to flatten your foes in an instant. Slip into Dirty Barry mode and rack up a kill streak with your handy assault rifle and an abundant supply of grenades. Take out the bad guys from a distance with a variety of firearms, including a shotgun, railgun, and machine gun. String together power moves like the Barrack and Rolla and Southside Smash to create devastating combos.
This is
Barrack Fu,
garbage.
The Adventures of Dirty Barry is available to download right now for those who already own a physical copy of Shaq-Fu. And if you don't own a physical copy, it will be available sometime in the fall.
I have no words. I plead the fifth. I have no words.
All I have to say is my fall gaming has looked just so much better now.
I know. I had nothing to play this fall, and now I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm so that just like
this is bad. This would make me want to get Red Dead Redemption 2.
Well, Ed, a lot of normal people are looking forward to that game.
But me
Like
and my relationship with Rockstar isn't good.
I know. Ed wrote an article on ngrradio.com called "Beating a Dead Horse." It's all about his love of Rockstar. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I was gonna say, was it about Red Dead? Beating a dead horse.
Oh, you just have to go and read it. It's fantastic. Mwah.
Okay. Our next story also comes from our friends at Nintendo Life. Nintendo. This is a little less hilarious. Nintendo says Switch user playtime is split 50-50 between docked and handheld. In a quote, where is it at? Their marketing director, I forget what his name is, Doug Bowser, refers to encompasses both handheld and tabletop modes, as Nintendo doesn't currently monitor which of the two undocked options a player uses at a given time. Quote, one of the nice things we've seen with the Switch is we're able to read more telemetry data in how players are engaging with the content. Man, this light in my face is not feeling great. We get that when they connect. If the Nintendo account, we have the ability to understand how they are engaging with the device. From a positioning standpoint, we can look at various titles and how they're being played. That allows us to think about various ways with digital marketing and some of our videos to know how to position them. So, about 50-50. I think I play mine more in handheld mode than in docked mode. Although, I have been playing in docked mode a lot more recently. So,
yeah, when I'm gonna go, it's dock. It's I take it with me when I'm gonna go, and probably like in other places. But like when I'm at home, it's docked, and I play a lot on that dock too.
Yeah.
So
I almost never play mine on the dock.
Yeah.
Like I did last night for the first time, and I don't know how long, just because when we were playing, the 2-player, like when I'm playing multiplayer, obviously I usually want to play in the dock, just because then you got the bigger screen. But otherwise, I almost never play in dock mode.
I mean, to be honest, it depends on what game I'm playing too. Most of the time, like I played Mario Odyssey mostly docked. I played Zelda mostly docked, but I don't think I've ever played Mario plus Rabbids docked. Like that game to me feels like the perfect handheld game.
Yeah.
I played that docked. I need to see it in the bigger screen. And with me having my Pro Controller, it's been more easier than doing it with the Joy-Cons. I've been enjoying my Pro Controller playing games.
Yeah. Yeah. So, interesting little stat. I thought it would have been more handheld than docked, but that's the joy of the Switch. You can play it however you want.
Yeah.
Our next story comes from where's that? Oh my gosh. Okay. This comes from an interview on Game Informer. Reggie Fils-Aimé sheds light on the future of Switch and his progress in Breath of the Wild. I don't really care about that. I just want to know about the future of Switch. At this year's Electronic Entertainment Expo, Andrew Reiner of Game Informer, was given the chance to speak to Reggie Fils-Aimé, Nintendo of America's president and chief operating officer. In this talk, Reggie outlines what we can expect for Switch, 3DS, and the classic line of retro consoles in 2018. He doesn't give away any surprises, but he did go off script a bit and talk about his playthrough of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and his fear of looking at how many hours he's logged into it. Let's see. I'm going to try to pick some stuff out of here. So this first part is about Nintendo's third-party content. One of the big stories for Nintendo is third-party content. Getting some of those big games like Fortnite coming over to the Switch, as well as Ubisoft expanding its support. The partnership seems like it's going to blossom. Donkey Kong DLC is now part of Mario plus Rabbids, and the big shocker is that Star Fox is coming to Starlink. Can you talk to me a little bit about the partnerships and the capacity of letting your characters go to different development houses? Reggie had this to say about third-party support. What I will say is this. As an intellectual property holder, we are very careful with how our IP is used. Whether it's in other games, movies, or amusement parks, we are very careful and very particular. Oftentimes, we need to build a relationship and confidence that our intellectual property is going to be handled in the proper way. We've been able to build a relationship with Ubisoft. There have been a number of examples where we've worked together with other people on our IP. We did something a number of years back with Activision and their Toys of Life experience, utilizing Nintendo IP, talking about Skylanders. It's company-specific, opportunity-specific, and based on the foundation of trust and knowledge around our intellectual property and the fact that the way the property is going to be used will work. Star Fox, with the inclusion of the R-Wing and Fox as a character, we felt confident that within that game, it was going to be great. It was going to be a great world and specific representation of that. That's how our partnerships develop. Third-party support on Switch has been really just awesome. Can we expect more in the future? It depends on the opportunity. It depends on the company. Our view is that we want to make our consumers smile, and we want to make them smile through surprising and delighting them with the use of our IP. Where it makes sense, it's an opportunity we will pursue. So, a lot of surprising third-party support for Switch, for sure.
Yes.
Ubisoft usually supports Switch supports Nintendo. Whether we got the Wii situation where everybody was developing, or the Wii U. We got 2 Assassin's Creed games and Zombie U and Rayman. Ubisoft has been a pretty good Nintendo partner. But we've gotten really good third-party support. Bethesda especially, even Rockstar with LA Noire, which I know that's a remaster and an old game, but it's still like Rockstar is one of the biggest companies that wants to push hardware, and
that's the best way to play the game. Is on Switch.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's still hard to find. You probably could find it on Best Buy or Amazon, but I think when that game came out physically, they might have did a limited run of it, and probably was shocked that it was gone the day that it came out, because that weekend after it came out, it was hard to find everywhere.
Yeah. And Dark Souls, we're getting Dark Souls on Switch too. That's going to be really hard to find if you don't pre-order it. I'm telling you right now. So
yeah.
Third party has been great on Switch. I buy most of the third party stuff on Switch just because, talked about at the top of the show, this kid's gonna suck up a lot of my life, and I'm gonna eat it.
Panic Button, they were just they want to bring Wolfenstein, the New Blood, the New Order to Switch. So that just tells you something that Bethesda's gonna probably be in business with Nintendo for a while with the Switch. If they can let Panic Button do that, I think they're gonna have some good sales coming their way.
Well, and a lot of it can be attributed, I think, to Nintendo, making the right choice when they created the console, of making it, that was the whole issue in the past, was it was hard to make games for the Wii U or whatever. So it sounds like it's a little bit easier for developers to kind of bring stuff to the Switch. And I think that's ultimately what needed to be done for them in order for it to, more third party to come there. Is you got to make it, one, enticing, which the Switch was, and two, you got to make it easy to bring it there, which they seem to do a lot better this time around.
Well, the thing about it with Wii U is that it was easier to make games for that system. Third parties just didn't want it because of fear of lack of sales. Yeah. And it's with Switch that everybody's been asking third party, will you bring this to a Nintendo console? Because they want to buy it. They have. It seems with Nintendo consoles, you're going to have more guaranteed sales if you say yes, it's coming to their platform. Over people knowing that when you announce a game, we know that PlayStation or Xbox and PC is going to get it. But if you guarantee that the game is also going to come to Nintendo, people will go and buy it. Just don't cheat them out of the same content that's coming to everything else. Graphics nowadays does not matter. Graphics in the past didn't even matter. They just wanted a fair treatment of that game to be developed on a Nintendo console.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you look at... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jesse.
That's all right. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I can mention. I'll mention it after.
Okay, I was just gonna say, like, Ed, you were here when I was playing FIFA. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we bring that up a ton on the show. Like, FIFA looks fantastic on Switch. Like, it looks great, and NBA 2K looks great on Switch. Like, some of these third-party games, like, they look fantastic. Wolfenstein and Doom look great on Switch. The graphics don't really matter anymore. Yeah, it's gonna look better on Xbox One and PS4, but like we're hitting that point in terms of graphics. Like it's a point of diminishing returns, right? Like PS5 and Scarlet are not gonna look that much better for a while, and they're not gonna look that much better. I think where companies want to go from here is can I make the crowd more dense? Can I make really cool particle effects? Can I do more things like the Nemesis system that Shadow of War does, but make it more complex, more complicated? Like, I think that's where people want to go instead of graphics, because like we're at a point where you look at Horizon, God of War, Halo, Gears, like those games look amazing already. Like how do you get much better than that without going like super photorealistic? And you look at some of the best games of the last decade, they're not graphically intense games. Like games people enjoy, like Life is Strange is not the best looking game, but it's an endearing story, and you look at Hollow Knight, Shovel Knight, Axiom Verge, Hyper Light Drifter. It's not the graphics anymore, man. It's the power. It's what you can do be under the hood that's gonna matter, and
Yeah, right. And before we get to you, Jesse, a lot of people who shown this stuff on Twitch, like with Switch and stuff, none of them are commenting on the graphics. They're commenting on how fun they are having in the game, or their frustration when they get to a level boss or something. But then they'll show some cool moves that they did, and people want that entertainment. They don't care about graphics. So what? You got to think that look graphical. And if we're talking more of enjoying and the satisfaction that this game is getting us, that's going to market to somebody to be like, you know what? If they're having fun, okay, this sounds like I could get something I could get into. Not because, the lighting is so good on here and that's all you hear about the game. No one's going to be like moved by a game looking good, graphic wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and like to touch on what you guys just mentioned, the thing is like we're at the point of where games are in 4K, and there really is no need to go any higher than that right now. And like Phil Spencer said, really what they basically want to like focus on is just getting a really good frame rate, because that ultimately that's what people want, is they want a good frame rate. And if you can you can maintain decent graphics and have a 60 frames per second, people are gonna, that's what people care about. Like that's what people want as far as graphics going forward.
Right.
But And yeah, like I mean, I know there's talk about an 8K TVs coming out and all that kind of stuff, but like with Nintendo like just really getting into the like true HD, I mean, there really is no reason to go beyond 4K for probably another good 20 years. Or 10 years.
When you could look at Pikmin 3 on Wii U and just stare at the water and what they put into that game,
or even the fruit models of that game, like,
I mean, just look at Breath of the Wild. I mean, like, it doesn't have 4K assets, but it still looks amazing, and that game, in my opinion, is a perfect example of how you don't need anything more than 1080p, like a true, good-looking 1080p, and like you have that in 60 frames per second, and you don't really need a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Is like moving forward, like, frame rate is really the only thing that people seem to want to try to make sure they can get at a good rate, and and the whatever graphics they can get in the meantime of making the game, so be it. But that's really all they care about.
I don't think people will be ready for Nintendo to do 4K 60 frames per second, because if they do, they're gonna be like, why can't other companies be up to the level of Nintendo doing it?
I mean, you look at Nintendo now. I think every single first-party game they've released besides Zelda has been 60 frames a second. Like Mario Tennis clearly is 60 frames a second. Mario Kart, Odyssey, I think Kirby was still 30. But you know what I mean. Like Sushi Strikers is 60. They're hitting 60.
Yeah.
Nintendo is hitting 60 constantly. So,
but with 4K, like, could you see a Metroid game in 4K?
No, I mean,
it's at 60.
Don't put that.
I mean,
don't put that dream into my head, Ed.
I mean, but that would be the example. If they could do that, or even a Mario game, if they could do that, everybody's going to be questioning. Well, okay, third party, you guys know how to do 4K and 60 frames per second. Why can't you now not match what Nintendo was doing?
Yeah, but Nintendo is also the master of asset compilation and knowing where and when to use new assets and when to reuse stuff. Like, that's why, Breath of the Wild was only, I think 13 gigs on Switch and 7 on Wii U. Like, that's why Mario Odyssey was like 6 gigs, Everybody else, like, I was talking to Jesse, like, Gears of War 4 on Xbox One X is 114.7 gigs on Xbox One X. And I go to my Switch and, like, Zelda's only 13. Like, Zelda's like a huge game, And I know that I know Nintendo's taking a different approach than something like Gears is, but like, man, but to be fair, Gears is real pretty on Xbox One X.
and trust me, I don't doubt that. At one bit, I don't doubt that. But shoot, Nintendo doing 4K 60, I think people will be like, okay, now everybody else is going to need to step up. If they could do 4K 60 and their download gigs would be like only like 28 gigs or something, gigabytes.
Yeah. Well, but to be fair, the thing is the way Nintendo games are, they could easily do 4K 60 frames per second, because it's not, again, they're not trying to go for the photorealism. Like, they're not trying to go for the super intricate detail of Gears of War.
I think the first test is going to be Metroid, because I think Metroid is the closest thing they want to get to, like, quote unquote, looking realistic. Yeah. I think that's going to be the test. I think when Metroid comes out, because like even Bayonetta 1 and 2, and I'm assuming 3, like those games are not big. Like, I think Bayonetta 1, I think that was the one you had to download, is only like 6 gigs. And like I know that's a up-res 360 game, but like, I mean, it's still relatively small. So like I think maybe that's the closest game we have right now that is like quote unquote realistic, but I mean it's not even that either. So
yeah,
I think Metroid Prime 4 is going to be the first real test of like big assets, big monsters, first person, 60 frames. Like that's going to be the test. So
yeah, and that's the thing is Nintendo really all, like honestly, all they need to do is if they can get like a little over 1080p, 60 frames per second, because like right now you don't even get many games in 1080p, full 1080p on the Switch, like if they can get that full HD, like that's really all they, for their game types, that's all they really need. Like you hear a lot of people complain about like, Xbox games and, a lot of them looking like cartoonish and, because they're used to the more realistic Naughty Dog style games on PS. And it's like, oh, well, why does something that's cartoonish need to be in 4K? Well, like, they do have a good point. Some of that stuff doesn't really have to, because it's not going to really, ultimately make it that much better looking.
Right. But Jesse, have you watched Cars 3 in 4K?
No.
I'm just kidding. Neither have I.
Mess.
It was. Never mind. I just look. I think 1080p is fine with me for now. Like I do plan on getting a 4K TV eventually, but like when I do it, it's going to be the TV that's going to last me the next 10, 15 years. I don't care about 8K. I don't care about whatever. Like I was telling, and maybe I should just save this conversation for Arsenal X, but I'm going to screw it. When I was playing Halo the other day, I messaged you guys in the group chat. I was like, I'm playing on my Xbox One X. The textures look so different on the X as compared to the S. I can see the stitching in the texture and like the where it switches from like cloth to leather, like just the shine on the leather thumbs. And I don't know if it's like switching consoles or like moving my Xbox from this little monitor over here to the big TV or what it was, but I'm just like running this at 1080p, this sharp, this clean, like do I really need a 4K TV? Like, I'm still questioning that. And, like, the big draw for 4K right now for me is, like, HDR and mostly, like animated movies and stuff. Like, whatever Pixar's putting out soon or that type of stuff. But in terms of games, especially for Nintendo, like, I don't need a 4K TV. Like, everything on my Xbox One X looks amazing. Like, literally, I tested out every single Xbox One X enhanced game I have. And I'm just like... This looks really pretty. This looks amazing. Yeah. So,
which is funny because I need to switch my Slim. Like I got to do it tonight. Like after AX, I was just like I was going to do it today. Just like, dang, he's talking about the X, and my Slim is sitting right here by me. I got to get that set up.
I'll be the only one running that original Xbox One soon.
Oh, don't worry. I paid too much. Like I told Corey, I paid too much money, and mine is a special edition. I'm keeping my one. Yeah, I'll put more games on it and just switch in between.
Well, it doesn't. It never pays to sell consoles nowadays. If you if you want to get anything for it, it's not worth it at this point. Like it's gonna go in my living room and be my replace my 360 that I have that's still running up there.
Oh, man. Well, there's a couple other things I wanted to touch on, but we've been running long, so we'll get to it next week maybe. Or it was more of like how the Switch is doing and the like online stuff that they're trying with Mario Party and stuff like that. But we'll get to that next week. I'm sure there'll be like 1,000 new things to talk about next week. Hopefully, knock on wood, I make it next week. But if not, I'll just be like, Ed, I need you. So. But anyways,
I got your cover, boss.
Next week also, if I'm here, even if I'm not here, question block is returning. I do have questions saved up from the last couple weeks, so we will be answering those as well. A lot of them about E3 still. So, but question block's returning next week. Like I said earlier last week, Pal Block is moving to 1 day a week for now. But in the meantime, if you are looking for an NGR, podcast on Fridays, we do have the B-Sides by Nerds Gone Rogue. Officially a podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. Working on other platforms at the moment. But those are the big two right now big three right now that 80% of the world uses. So it is there. So check out the B-Sides by Nerds Gone Rogue. It is our Friday podcast. It's not a long show. It's usually it hovers between 25 and 40 minutes. And it's not really a gaming podcast either. Usually we talk about something different. So, which I'm sure Moose and Matt are going to tease me about the big basketball news that happened this weekend. But you know what? It's fine. So.
Oh, what fun.
Anyways, you can download Nintendo Power Block on Tuesdays or watch it on our YouTube page, youtube.com/NGRradio or NGRradio.com. Like, subscribe, and share. Rate us on your podcast service of choice. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at NGRPowerBlock. You can also email us your questions at NintendoPowerBlock@gmail.com. Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at @sub_humanist.
Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode, and you can check out my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, and other podcast apps.
And you can find me at CorianHD on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on Nerds Gone Rogue and a plethora of other content here. Check out our Let's Play shows, Squad Goals, Royale with Cheese, our Nindy showcases running right now through August, second week of August.
Yeah.
And then Ed and I will probably announce something very soon for the fall. So, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, we love you.
Bye, everybody. Woohoo!